which they teach Ephesians 2, which tells you that you're saved by grace through faith, not by works, so no man can boast. That makes you Christians think that you can be lazy Christians and you don't need works. You do. You just don't. They can't earn your salvation. Works cannot earn your salvation. You do need to do good works that God preordained for you to do, which is the very next verse after it says that you're saved by grace through by grace through faith, not by works. The very next verse says that God has good works that he preordained for you to do. In James 2, one of those good works could possibly feeding somebody that needs to be fed, clothing somebody that needs to be clothed, which also goes along with you presenting yourself to God as a living sacrifice. It's crazy how all of those things work together, and most Christians don't believe that any of those things are necessary. You don't believe that you have to be a living sacrifice. You also believe you don't have to work to justify your faith. When working to justify your faith presents you as a living sacrifice, two things in the Bible that God is telling you is necessary or advantageous, not even necessary. God doesn't actually tell you most things are necessary, but whatever he's saying to you, it would be advantageous. I don't know if you know what the word advantageous means, but if you don't, go look it up. And it just means in your best interest. Why would God tell you to do something that you can describe as advantageous? What could be the result of you not doing it when it comes to God? Hell, right? I mean, what else could it be? Obviously, he can make your life living hell here. But the ultimate thing is heaven or hell in the afterlife. So a lot of these things are not commands. If you don't want to help somebody in need, you don't have to. God is not going to make you. He's not even going to be mad at you. But if you don't think you have to justify your faith with your works, do something. You got to do something. You have to do something that serves as a sacrifice of yourself, a living sacrifice of yourself, to prove to God that you actually believe in him. That's what faith is. If you've never done anything that serves as a sacrifice based on your so-called belief in God, then you don't have a belief in God. You don't have a faith. If it's not justified, God's not going to credit you with righteousness nor faith. And righteousness is not even something you need to get to heaven. Faith is something that you need to have salvation to get to heaven. Righteousness, not so much. Again, they go hand in hand. Being a living sacrifice, having a faith, righteousness, they're all connected. So it would be very difficult for you to not be righteous in any way, shape, or form and still have a faith in God or serve yourself up as a living sacrifice. But righteousness was never mentioned as a prerequisite for salvation. And like I said, being a living sacrifice isn't either. Faith only. But you can show yourself as a living sacrifice by justifying your faith before the Lord, which you do need to be saved. And again, if you tell them to go in peace, keep warm and well fed, but do nothing of their physical needs, you failed, you're misrepresenting God, you've disappointed him, and you missed the opportunity to justify your faith before the Lord. And it's not a one-time thing like Abraham. For come to God Christians, if you went to the altar and accepted the gift of salvation, you should be doing things regularly that show that you have a justified faith, that show you're presenting yourself as a living sacrifice. So if you want to just feed people over and over again all the time, that works. Feed or clothe, right? Most of you way too scared to shelter someone, to invite a stranger into your house and shelter them. Guess what? If you're truly a child of God, you're protected. God is not going to allow anything to happen to you. It's true that no good deed goes unpunished. So maybe something in your house might go missing, but you're not going to die. Nobody in your family is going to get killed. Nothing terrible is going to happen, right? He might let the person steal something from you just to put a bad taste in your mouth about helping people, to see if you'll still help people.